In 2017, I received a tracheostomy tube and was started on invasive ventilation. After receiving my tracheostomy tube, I was told I had to manage my airway by using a suction machine. A suction machine uses a catheter pushed down into the tracheostomy tube. Suction is applied, and hopefully the suction catheter removes any mucus or anything else that might be inside the tracheostomy tube. Now, I have never ever loved suctioning, and you might even say I greatly disliked it. That would be a better word. Greatly disliked it. Having the suction catheter pushed down into my tracheostomy tube, and then the pressure of it being sucked up. I do not like that feeling. So when I was released home, I was like, okay. Mentally, I was trying to fortify myself to say, okay, you're going to have to do this for the rest of your life. You're going to have to suction, suction, suction. Isn't this fun? I got home and I used my portable suction machine to suction up the goop and whatever was in my tracheostomy tube. However, I couldn't deal with having to suction all the time. So I went onto the internet and I researched if you absolutely needed to suction your tracheostomy tube. Now, I wish I would have kept the article that I found, but I found an article written by a respiratory therapist. The respiratory therapist actually worked in a surgery setting. He did all sorts of surgeries to being the respiratory therapist in charge for bronchoscopies. So he had a lot of experience with people with tracheostomy tubes using ventilators, and then also looking down into the airway when he was assisting when they were doing bronchoscopies. He noticed that people with tracheostomy tubes had a lot of damage at the carina. He noticed a lot of people had that suction catheter and it would hit the carina, cause a lot of scarring, and actually damaging the carina is very detrimental. The carina is extremely sensitive because if anything goes down into your airway, if you happen to aspirate or anything like that, the carina is pretty much the area that will get hit by that fluid. That carina being extremely sensitive will cause you to start coughing, and that's what you want to do. You want to get whatever it is that you happen to swallow and get down into your lungs. You want to expel that and get that out of your airway. So unfortunately, with using suction catheters, and people go all the way down and they go down until they hit something and then they suction up. Unfortunately, when you're hitting something, it's almost always the carina. And every time you hit it, you're causing scarring to the carina and causing that to become less sensitive. A big thing which can happen is if you happen to aspirate or if you happen to be showering and get water down into your tracheostomy tube, you should, when fluid or whatever that you get into your airway hits that carina, it should have a cough reflex. Unfortunately, if you have that carina really scarred, the cough reflex is greatly reduced because scar tissue will not sense that you aspirated something, and you will have a much reduced cough reflex. And some people, it's almost completely absent. So he went on a quest to find out if suctioning was needed and if there were other ways to clear the airways. What he found is using a nebulizer did a fantastic job of getting all that mucus up, and in people that have that are still able to cough, getting the mucus up, getting it right at the tip of the tracheostomy tube, and then just coughing a little bit, a lot of times will clear the tracheostomy tube of the mucus. That's what he found through his research and through working with people with tracheostomy tubes. So he started switching people from suctioning over to using nebulizers and using them 1 to 2 times a day to clear out the airways, and he had a lot of success. If people did need suctioning, they just needed a little bit of suctioning just to get out that mucus, or just very shallow suctioning to get out the mucus, but they did not need the deep suctioning, which was damaging the carina. He had a lot of success with this, and he wanted to share that with other people and with other respiratory therapists. Unfortunately, it seems like his research was not very well accepted. I mean, I did find it online in 2017, so I'm very grateful for that. But in general, it wasn't warmly embraced by the rest of the medical community. So I thought, well, he did all this research and he has all this knowledge and he's a respiratory therapist. I'm going to try his method. I'm going to try just using the nebulizer and not use the suction machine. Guess what? I have never used my home suction machine, and I can verify this. I've never used it since August of 2017 when I started using my nebulizer and just coughing up the secretions. Somewhere in my house, there's a suction machine, and I wanted to return it, but I found out that actually after a year of renting it, it becomes mine. That's just the way my insurance is set up. So I have a suction machine for the rest of my life, and I don't currently use it. But hey, we never know, because I hope I never lose my ability to cough. But if you lose your ability to cough, suctioning becomes much more critical, because you can't cough, you can't clear secretions, and you need to be constantly managing the airway. Thankfully, I can still cough. I can still pretty much clear my airway. So I nebulize 1 to 2 times a day, depending on how I feel, how thick I feel like my airways are. In the hospital, I will still try to suction. However, I've given up almost on suctioning because it is so ineffective for me. My mucus is very, very thick, and you put a suction catheter down. It's so hard to get out the mucus, and it just stays there. And I've had so many respiratory therapists go, "I'm not understanding. I can feel the mucus and I can't get it out." And I said, "Yeah, because it's really, really thick. You're not going to get it out with a suction catheter." So I almost always have to run the nebulizer. And then once I use the nebulizer, it loosens up enough and I can cough it out. So I've now been taking my nebulizer with me to the hospital. You think, what about the nebulizers they use at the hospital? I don't have very good luck with those ever. They don't work the same. And I'm not sure why it is. They just are using air to nebulize, and I don't know. The home nebulizer I have works fantastically, if that's a word. Works fantastically. So I love my home nebulizer, and I actually have a couple always on hand, because I never want my nebulizer to fail and leave me without my nebulizer, because I can't exist without my nebulizer. I use it quite frequently, at least once a day, but sometimes 2 to 3 times a day. And it just has helped clear my airways, and it has helped me get rid of the suction. And so I don't ever use my suction machine. So I'm so grateful and thankful for finding that research paper. If I can find it, I will attach it down in the comments. But unfortunately, I've looked a couple times. I don't know what the guy's name was. I don't know what the research paper was called. I don't remember where I found it, but I'm so grateful and thankful for whoever it was that published that information about suctioning, that you can use a nebulizer, because it has truly revolutionized my tracheostomy tube care. I'm not sure I'd be as happy as I am because I don't like suctioning. I don't like it at all. And that really was a low point of my day, is trying to suction. And then I couldn't get the secretions out, and such a nightmare. But I don't suction, so. And please, don't take me not suctioning for you to not suction. Please talk about it with your medical provider. My doctor has said, yeah, whatever works for you. You can cough. Do whatever you need to do to clear out your airway. So please contact your medical provider. Don't just be like, I don't want to suction. No, don't do that. That's wrong. This is my medical advice. Talk to your medical provider and see what's right for you. So thank you so much for joining me. Please remember to like and subscribe down below. Please also remember to comment and share. It really helps my channel. I hope you have a great day and a wonderful week. Bye-bye.